Cruel is a fast-paced, arcadey first-person shooter that was developed and self-published by James Dornan. This game finds itself in the, at the moment, unnamed subgenre of first-person shooters that would put it alongside games like Post Void, Angerfoot, and Mullet Mad Jack. Cruel is only 10 levels long, but much like Post Void, it can take multiple attempts to actually beat this game, as it is a roguelike. What this means is that upgrades can be acquired over the course of a run, but if you die, you lose your upgrades and have to start all over again, which makes Cruel a pretty difficult game until you get the hang of it. And I will mention some tips and tricks that I discovered that led me to success. Also, unlike Post Void and Mullet Mad Jack, Cruel does not center around the mechanic of quickly losing health with time and regaining health by killing enemies. You see, in this game, health is regained by drinking cans of soda that are taken from damaged vending machines. Vending machines that you damaged either by shooting them, kicking them, or slashing them with a melee weapon. You don't lose health with time, but you are constantly being pushed by a raging fire that is chasing you through the decrepit apartment building that the game takes place within. And while this fire is chasing you, there are several enemies that stand between you and the level exit. Over time, more and more enemy types are introduced, and these include cultists with revolvers, shotgunners, zombies wielding melee weapons, phantoms, riot guards with batons, demonic pigs with wings, killer monkeys, giant spiders, TNT goblins, chainsaw dudes, and murderous crows that come crashing in through windows. In the later levels, the giant spiders and TNT goblins show up, and they can definitely present a challenge, as the spiders spit poison at you that slows you down, and the TNT goblins run at you and blow up. Obviously, with the game taking place in very tight, cramped hallways, killing the TNT goblins as soon as you see them is of extremely high importance. But overall, dodging enemy attacks as much as possible is a major part of a successful run. No dur, right? On top of this, there are some environmental hazards, such as giant axes that swing from the ceiling, lasers, and proximity mines. After the end of each level, you have the choice to save all of your soda cans to be used as health items, or spend one of them in order to have a choice between two cards, with these cards acting as minor upgrades. If you save all of your soda cans, you can simply move on to the next level, or gamble through another door that can either give you another can of soda or insta-kill you, thereby ending your run. You start the game with a revolver that, as long as you're landing headshots, is useful throughout the entire game, and you eventually acquire a double-barreled shotgun and a spray and pray rapid-fire SMG. All of these guns feel great, and as mentioned, landing headshots with the revolver and shotgun is extremely important, as headshots are instant kills, and you can run out of ammo if your aim isn't true. You can also conserve ammo, however, by using melee weapons. These are typically found on walls in the levels, but can also be acquired from the zombies and riot guards. These would include axes, baseball bats, metal pipes, and batons. And you can both slash with these weapons or throw them. If a thrown melee weapon makes contact with an enemy, this is also an instant kill, as are slashes that take off enemy heads. One thing to note though is that slashing away with melee weapons actually degrades them, and they will eventually break. After such a breakage, you are without a melee weapon until you can replace it. And while I didn't take this approach, melee weapons can also be used to parry projectiles, which is pretty cool and just goes to show that there are a lot of different ways to play this game. There is one other attack that you have in Cruel, and that would be the Kick. Most of the time it simply stuns enemies, which can give you an opportunity to run past them, but it can be deadly if you kick them through windows, or if you specifically use it to kick phantoms, another great way to conserve ammo. As for the strategy that worked for me, I would mostly use the Kick to kill phantoms, do my best to get as many headshots as possible with the guns, and if I had a melee weapon equipped, I would throw said melee weapon at every zombie and riot guard that I encountered, as I knew I would always get a new melee weapon from these enemies. While the fire is constantly pushing you forward, I would take just enough time to line up my headshots. So much like in Mullet Mad Jack, while you do feel rushed, getting into a rhythm is key. And what's crazy is that on my first successful run, I didn't even really use melee weapons for slashing at enemies. I was really just using them as throwables. You can even watch my full run on this channel, but other than that, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like and subscribe, and dislike it if you absolutely hated it. As always, enjoy the rest of your day. But go play cool.